how do you interview to be a writer?
Well, first of all, you don't do what I did because, as I pointed out in the book, like HR was HR, that's fine. They'll tell you about, your key card and that kind of thing. Russo and Ferrara, all I talked about was what wrestlers are you thinking of spinning off into sitcoms and or dramas or movies, which is the last thing you should be bringing up when you're, trying to be a writer at WWE for the product at hand, Raw and SmackDown and all that. So that didn't go well. With Shane, I complained about how none of the sports bars in LA can get Mets games. So I'm looking forward to being home so I could watch them locally. He did not care for that one bit. Plus, he's a Yankees fan. He used to
It's
threaten.
reined in non-sports fans. I mean, that entire family, I've never seen anything like it. They're just not sports fans besides WWE.
Yeah, well, Shane used to, especially when the Wilpons, owned the Mets, which they did my entire time in WWE. He used to like tease me. He's like, "Hey, Brian, how about thinking about maybe we buy the Mets?" I'm like, "Oh, that would be great." Yeah, I'm thinking about moving him to Jersey. Like he just would do that just to get me upset. But yeah, like when I finally interviewed with Vince, and it was supposed to be Vince and Linda originally, but Linda had another meeting, so it was just me and Vince. And that's when I just said, "Screw it. This is where I'm just gonna talk about my love of WWE." And I brought up our Royal Rumble pools that we had in college. I brought up my favorite angles, my favorite matches, my favorite pay-per-views, and all that. And so unsurprisingly, in hindsight, that was the portion of the interview day that went the best. He was like into it. He never heard of Royal Rumble pools before. My sick WWE gambling connection somehow popped Vince in the room when we were talking about it. And
pal.
yeah, well, I told him the story was like we used to not pick numbers, which is what you're supposed to do. Instead, we picked names, which is very risky because, as you know, sometimes the names all don't show up. But one guy got both well and done from the tag team. Well done. Those were his two entries. And Vince was like, "That guy's not going to win." So yeah, that's what really, the process is completely different now. Then now I think you write a sample, you write like an angle, they read your materials before they even interview you, all that type of stuff. But back then it was like completely just making it up as we go. And